Okay, so this is my first ever pork butt slow cooking on a fire grill. I did a recipe from some guy who did it Texas style. So I did a Texas style. There was a mustard one that I also want to try. The good news is I have two of these, so we're going to do two of them at some point. But this thing has been on for 9 hours, 250 degrees, at 160. I wrapped it, and then at 195 I took it off. Here's the moment of truth. We have no idea how well of a job I've done, but we're going to find out soon. And so I'm going to put this... Oh crap, hold on. My camera fell apart. My stand. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here, and then so what I was recommended is to try to catch the juices of this thing. So it's been resting for about a half hour. You can see some of it leaked out, but it's not too, well, you probably can't see, but some of it did leak out. Not too big of a deal, but we want to try to get all the juices. My hand's in the way, so my apologies there. So let me grab the camera now. So what's happening is, as you can see, the juices are filling up this bowl, and they're looking mighty tasty. And I don't know if I can, maybe if I back it up, there we go. So you can see a little better. So we're just trying to get all the juices to come out. Some of it we did lose, but this is, I don't know, that's at least a solid 10 to 12 ounces there. Okay, so it's just now dripping. So I think we're good and done. And let me look in the camera. So you can see we got ourselves some nice au jus. So that's perfect. I'm just checking the bottom to see how oily it is. I'm going to put it on my countertop. I'm just going to reach across the camera there. Okay, so now moment of truth. I do have a bowl to put this in, and of course that's what the camera's sitting on right now, but let's just see how it looks. And it's double wrapped. And there is the magnificent beauty, Texas style. And you can see the fat got cut. It's still actually feeling pretty warm here. And the bone is over on this side. So I'm going to flip it around and show the bone. And the real test is supposed to be that I can pull the bone right out. So I know my hand keeps getting in the way of the camera, but I'm going to grab the bone and let's see. It's a little warm, burning my hand a little bit. And looks like I probably could have used leaving it in for a little bit longer. Because I am not getting the pull. Well, I'm getting a little bit of a pull, but the top is not pulling. Like the bottom is disconnected, but the top is not. So, I don't know. This might be a failure. Well, it's also very hot, so I can't really get a good grip on it. So, maybe I should have let it cool off a little bit more. But yeah, see, I'm trying to pull the bone out. The bottom, of course, is disconnected. The top, not so much. Okay, so still very hot. Maybe I should have let it cool off a little bit longer. But one of the things is that there was competing opinions on this. So one person said 203 degrees. I stopped it at 195. And of course, the guy who stopped it at 195, he demonstrated it came out great. But the 195 might not have been enough in this case, because I'm clearly not getting separation here. But this is what it looks like, and I'm going to try it. Okay, I may not be able to pull that bone, but this is freaking amazing. This is a paprika, pepper, garlic salt, or I'm sorry, the garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. That's all this is. It's just a mixture of that, equal portions of salt and pepper, and those half portions of that in paprika, and then the onion and garlic powder is probably a quarter portion. So, and then this was cooked in a smoker at 250, and you can see that it blackened up, but it's very very tender. It's not a charcoal burnt. It looks burnt, but it's not burnt. I mean, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's not like the meat is very soft and tender, and probably what I need to do now is I'm going to grab some gloves and let's see what it looks like when I tear it apart. Okay, so they always tell you that when it's your first time, you're going to make mistakes. And this is definitely my first time. And I don't know. I mean, my lesson learned is I may need to cook it a little bit longer, but that little bit that I tasted was fantastic. So there's a part of me that always argues, well, maybe not. But you should be able to, yeah, so you just grab into it, and then look at this. It just falls apart. So yeah, the meat just falls apart, and you know, why that bone wouldn't come out, I don't know. But this is exactly what you would expect pulled pork to do. So I'm going to grab that bone again, and see, I'm going to pull on it, and see some of the meat did stay connected to it. So I think the 195 recommendation was probably not good. It probably would have benefited from cooking a little bit more. But beyond that, this meat, it's still quite warm when I try to touch it, but you saw when I had the glove on, I was able to just mash it, and it just fell right apart. It's going to taste fantastic. So not concerned about that. Just so my lesson learned here is I probably could have cooked it a little bit more. And then the idea is that these parts with all the spices, you know, you mash it in and mix it in with everything else, and that's what it looks like. That right there, some mighty good pulled pork. So obviously the pulling, not quite as good as it should have been, but hey, there you go. So very hot still. I probably, you know, the one thing is you spend like 10 hours waiting for this. Well, 9 hours, but I had to prep and all that stuff too. But the thing is that I'm hungry. I'm so hungry right now because I, been skipping dinner and I've been waiting. And so it's like, I waited the bare minimum to let it cool off. And that is absolutely amazing. It is so good just by itself. And then I'm going to make sure I pour that juice on this. And you don't even need barbecue sauce with it this good. So I probably need to let it cool off a little bit more or get my gloves and do a little bit more damage here. Anyways, pulled pork. We used a Pit Boss wood pellet grill, and I can give the recommendations of the 2 videos I watched to teach me how to do this. The 195 suggestion, we had a thermometer. The 195 suggestion, not quite right. You can see the bone there. I have to pull it away. It's close. It's very close. I mean, this bone was supposed to come out without me having to grab the meat. But it did come out. It's definitely not super attached. It was just, I probably needed to do another 30 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm going to enjoy myself a mighty awesome dinner.